In South America, llamas are eaten as well, because llamas tend to be kept by the little peasant, the small peasant families, and they have maybe a dozen that they use for work. The alpacas are kept in huge, great herds for their wool and their meat, but the peasant families, they use the wool off the llama, which although it's not as good as alpaca, is still usable. And they eat, sorry Ralph, they eat them as well. So here at the park we've got about 80 llamas and about 25 alpacas, and we breed and sell both of them. Obviously we have lots of visitors come to see them, and one of the things we do is llama walks. In fact, Ralph hasn't been out on a walk, but we've had several of the llamas out this morning on a llama walk, and Ralph's one of the guys that does that as well. And they really enjoy it. So there's quite a lot of llamas and alpacas in this country now. There's probably something like 25,000 alpacas and maybe about 8,000 or 10,000 llamas. Alpacas are being kept in big herds and bred in big herds in this country, again, to try and develop an alpaca woolen industry in this country. I mean, there's millions of them in Peru, but they're trying to develop that in this country as something different. There's lots of llamas in this country now being used in the leisure industry. Some of them are going just as field pets, so you put a couple of llamas in your little paddock at the bottom of the garden. Some are like Ralph and doing llama walks, and that's becoming very popular. And actually some llamas as well are used for guarding sheep. Because if you put a couple of male llamas into your flock of sheep, they'll start to bond with the sheep and be very protective when the lambs are around from foxes and dogs. So, yeah, you're rather handsome. Now, one of the nice things you hear about, and he knows it. Oh, right, I know. That's right, you can have a carrot. But you can see from there, he's got an unusual mouth he's got, and that shows you things he can do with his lips is amazing. Llamas and alpacas are actually, they're distant relatives of camels. So they've got features about them just like camels. So that split upper lip he's got there is just like a camel. And so he's got teeth at the bottom, but no teeth at the top. So he's a ruminant. So otherwise he chops they eat grass and hay, and they chop it all up, and then they sit down and chew their cud, just like a sheep or a cow would. And that's basically what they live on, is grass and hay. Biggest health problem we have with them in this country, that means I want a carrot, doesn't it? Is that they do get to get rather fat, because where they would live up in the Andes, the vegetation is really, really poor. And so when they've got nice lush grass in this country, they do tend to eat too much. This is Ralph's performance, it means I want a carrot. So that split upper lip belies their relations of camels. And you look at his feet. See how different they are to what you'd find on a sheep or a goat or a cow. No cloven heels, but they've got leathery pads and toes. But he's rather handsome. Now every year we breed quite a lot of babies here at the park, so I mean if you sort of walk into the fields over there, you'll see some baby llamas over there. Will you just behave yourself? Right, you can have another one. And the females, they have a pregnancy lasting 11 and a half months, which is very long. Okay? They always have one baby. Yeah. It's almost unheard of for them to have. Oh, all right. Did you want a piece as well? They are very, very gentle. Yeah. Yeah, so they always have one baby, and normally they're born in the morning. So they're touch wood, they're very easy to breed. Yeah. And they're very, very gentle, good-natured animals. So despite, I expect everybody said, you know, when you're coming to visit them, oh, they spit. You know, we hear that all the time. Llamas are not like that at all. They're very gentle, very good-natured. Yes, they can spit. They do it to each other when they're trying to sort of get, you know, sorting out pecking orders and things. But they are just very gentle and very good-natured. So they get a bit of a bad press at times.
How old is Ralph?
Ralph, he's in his prime, he's 7. He's a rather handsome boy. Yeah. Do they drink a lot? Very proud. No, they don't. Very proud. Very proud, very good looking. Yes. And one of the classic sort of things you'll see of llamas, they've got these great big, it would be called banana-shaped ears. That's a sort of classic thing of a llama, really. And so whereas these are big guys with these great big ears, if you look at the alpacas, they're so much smaller, and they've got little pointy ears and little squat faces. So, and all those guys out there were shorn at the beginning of May, so they get shorn every year. Ralph only gets shorn about every 2 or 3 years. Have you got an itch?
Yeah, he's like a scratch.
He's a bit of a law unto himself.
Yes.
Okay. So, I hope you'll go around and have a look at the little paddock over there. There's some llama babies in there. go along into the museum. There's a DVD that plays in there and will tell you a lot more about llamas and alpacas. And then I hope over there you'll go and see our reindeer, which have got absolutely nothing to do with llamas,
No.
except we have Santa's grotto here every Christmas, and so they become pretty important then.
Yeah.
Now we've now got 5 reindeer, including a great big bull reindeer who's got the most enormous antlers you've ever seen. He's lovely. So, any questions? And I'll leave you to have a wander around. And if anybody'd like to come to feed Ralph and Carrot, I'm sure he'd be very pleased. Any questions? No? You can have that. As you see, he's very, very gentle. If you're worried, put it on the flat of your hand, but you can just hold it like that.
Lucky Easter.